Pharoah Cooper is catching passes this August from Jared Goff in Los Angeles, and hopefully he'll be able to forge himself a pretty decent NFL career. The production from this receiving core is probably just about as low as any returning unit in the SEC, Will. You know that as well as anyone. So who has stood out and more or less from our discussion before we came on, maybe who's standing out for the wrong reasons right now at wide receiver?
Bryan Edwards probably stands out because he's had some highlight reel catches. Deebo Samuel is the guy that Will Muschamp has built up and talked a lot about and expects to have a big year. They are very high on Deebo Samuel, a redshirt sophomore in-state player who actually came on towards the end of last year and had a big game in the season finale against Clemson. But, man, he is having a hard time staying healthy. He's been battling a hamstring injury throughout fall camp and really just returned in the last 4 or 5 days. We'll see if he can stay healthy for the next 2 weeks. Bryan Edwards is the number 2 guy. After that, it gets a little interesting. Jamari Smith is considered the number 3 guy, and then it will be a host of freshmen. Randrakus Davis, Shavis Dawkins, Corey Banks are guys that come to mind. I don't want to say it's surprising because I don't know what we expected starting Monday night, but this is a group, Mark. It doesn't matter if you or I or any of our buddies go and play quarterback. Going back to that quarterback discussion, they've struggled to catch the football. We could be throwing it to them and it wouldn't matter right now. That's something that's got to change. As I was walking out of practice tonight, they were in a circle in the middle of the field doing up downs. And I'm imagining that's because of the number of drops. And it's not limited to any one guy. It's across the board. They're going to have to rely on their tight ends this year. Hayden Hurst, a big 6'5" tight end, is a guy that I think they're going to count on. Casey Crosby is a kind of a different kind of hybrid H-back tight end player. Keel Pollard, a one-time Arkansas commitment, a true freshman, is a guy who maybe finds his way in there. So, but the wide receiving core, I think the difference, the wide receiving core and the running back core, the wide receiving group has talent. It's young. It's got to develop. I don't know if you can say that about the running back group. Those drops will work their way out. They've got 2 guys in Samuel and Edwards that I think will be just fine as the season goes along, and Hayden Hurst will fit into that group. So I think long-term they'll be, or even short-term, they'll be okay there. They've just got to get the dropsies out of their system.
Yeah, Hurst with some playing time last year, 8 catches for 106. You mentioned the big game by Samuel against Clemson in a near upset win, 5 for 104 and 1 touchdown in the finale last year.